Language in the world to learn, the Ta language, also known as the language. Now, how many sounds exist in the English language, right? I mean, there's an alphabet which has 26 letters, but how many sounds, how many different sounds can we produce with our mouths in the English language? D, E, U. The Ta language, by contrast, has somewhere around 200 different sounds, the most of any language in the entire world. The Ta language has a ridiculous number of click sounds. It's not just a simple click either. The dental click, the alveolar click, the palatal click, the lateral click, and a really rare type of click called the bilabial click, which you have to make with your lips. So just like Mandarin, ma, 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 you're gonna have to learn to speak in different pitches too. Okay, number 2 most difficult language in the world to learn, Piraha. Now there's only about 300 speakers of Piraha in the world, and they're all concentrated along a small area along the Amazon River in Brazil. Piraha is also ridiculously hard to learn so far as its sounds and grammar go. The thing that puts Piraha number 2 on this list is that the way that people think is totally alien to pretty much any other language that's ever been discovered. So a linguist called Daniel Everett has been studying this language actually for decades and living with the Piraha. As he went on learning their language and learning their culture, what he found was the Piraha were only living in a world of observable experience. They weren't able to understand abstractions. So for example, their language has no words for numbers because numbers are abstractions. If you have 10 of something, that's an abstraction, it's a mental concept. They don't count in Piraha. In fact, they can't count. Linguists have spent a lot of time trying to teach them how to count in Portuguese, and they're unable to do so. They have no words for color. So the concept is so alien and impossible for you to understand. And in a language like Piraha, without abstractions, Piraha people grow up not being able to understand these kind of mental abstractions that 0.9% of other speakers of other languages in the world can do, right? In the Piraha language, if you can't see or physically observe something, it doesn't exist. So there's no room for abstractions in their language, and as a result, scholars suspect people are unable to think in abstract terms in Piraha. And last but not least, the most difficult language in the world to learn is Ithquil. Now, what gives Ithquil the top spot? Well, the first thing you have to know is that, unlike the other languages on this list, it's a constructed language. It's not a natural human language. Some linguist just made it up as an experiment. And so he just made an entire language with its own vocabulary and grammar. This language is so complex that even the guy who invented it isn't able to speak it. It's a constructed language whose purpose is to eliminate the ambiguities that we often have